haven't said that in so long.
Okay. Could be my wingman anytime, Jack. Okay. I got a short one.
Yeah. You guys got a romance going.
Yeah. I don't want to be the kind that talks too long, waste your time, or sings a song. I don't really care what other podcasts do. I just want to ramble on. I want to ramble cast, make you laugh to your core. That's what they invented podcasts for. I just want to ramble cast. Quick one. Wild's away.
Might be your best one ever.
I actually didn't think you'd have one tonight, so I'm impressed.
Yeah, like, well, that's
by the way, that makes me sound like an ass, but I'm like, sometimes
well, it's like 4 weeks in a row, which is it's been a while since I've done 4 in a row.
So you're saying sometimes Nick's a slacker is what you're saying.
Wow.
That's what he's saying.
Well, the thing is that like I am lazy, and then the day of I kind of go. The day of I go, if I thought of anything lately, and then I have like a list of 2 or 3 all the time, and then I look up the chords and I go, fuck it, that's too hard. those are the days that I don't have a song. I'm like, I don't want to do it. So,
well, I'm always impressed, Nick, and I like that. So, who was that by?
That was written by John Prine in 1986, and was made a #1 hit by George Strait in 1998.
It almost sounded like Willie Nelson to me.
It's called I Just Want to Dance with You.
That actually almost sounded a little bit like Kokomo for a hot second.
Right. Aruba. Shout out to all the Indiana people.
Take you to Bermuda.
Just the Kokomos.
Just the Kokomos.
Well, it's been a week for sure. I don't know about you guys, but I'm exhausted.
All right, let's call it quits. Thanks for joining us live, Chris.
I took a nap before we recorded.
I wish I could take naps.
Well, we got the grandkids out of the house, and I said, okay, I got it.
You got a power nap after that full day of watching the grandkids all day. They keep getting older. Man, so do you.
That's no lie.
I'm just full of these tonight. Sorry, guys.
Every time you post a photo, Jack, of your granddaughter now, though, I just automatically think, God damn it.
I told my wife that story. I thought it was hilarious.
Well, I guess Alex had a good one the other day. Jay called and told us Alex looks like a little – I call him Spicoli if you see his long hair and all that stuff.
Right.
Well, I guess him and Zach were playing the game of life, and as boys would do, or actually young kids would do, and they started throwing the money all over the place. So Jay came downstairs. Make it rain. So Jay came downstairs. Hey, let's start picking this stuff up. So Zach, I guess, picked it up, and then Alex wasn't picking it up. He goes, Alex. So he's like doing it, half-assed, like one at a time, just fucking around. Jay goes, Alex, I'm gonna count to 3. If you don't start picking it up, you're gonna be in trouble. And then Alex goes to Jay, chill out, bro.
That's awesome.
And Jay goes, well, I had to punish him. I go, are you kidding me? For that great line?
Yeah.
He goes, what would you have done if I go, at 2.5, 3? I go, no, I'd let it go. 3.5, no, then I'd be all over you.
I would give him props for it, but yeah, you still get punished. I agree with Jay on this one.
So this I had my son was texting for me, and I was like telling him like, oh, just text this to your mom, and so we're driving along, and then I said, hey, did she write back yet? And it was something about like we were going to get in, we were about to get our haircuts for the second time, and I'll tell you about the first time in a bit, but we were going to get our haircuts for the second time, and I had the wrong date and time, and so I was just having him like tell her that, and she wrote back in all caps, fuck. Just fuck. And so at some point, like my son still has my phone, and I'm like, hey, because I'm driving, and I'm like, hey, why don't you put on some music, buddy? I'm like, so he's looking through some music, and I said, hey, has Mom written us back? No, I was like, okay. And then eventually he's like, I think we came to a stop, and he was like, Mom wrote us back? And I was like, oh, what did she write? And he was like, you better read it. And the thing is that I've been blamed because, well, I was saying damn it a lot back, when he was about 2. And there was an incident where we were getting on the highway, and my wife is driving, and he's 2. And he says, maybe he was 3, but he said, are we taking the highway or country roads? And she said, highway. And he said, country roads, damn it. And she immediately blamed her mom and not me.
That's good.
But I had to eventually confess, and she's held that over my head for a pretty long time now. Like
you were in the hold on, you were in the clear. Let's remember this show used to be the Married Man Show.
Yeah.
You were in the clear, and then you owned up to something now that has been haunting you since that day.
No. Like I owned up to it in the moment. I let it slide for maybe a beat, maybe 30 minutes.
But you could have let it slid forever.
No, I can't remember how it came about, but at any rate, this was 7 years ago. Let's not go into that detail. But she has not let me forget this moment for quite a while that I taught my son, damn it. But now I'm like, ho.
Yeah, because fuck is a lot worse than damn it.
Oh yeah,
maybe F-bomb, but
Oh yeah, did I send that to you? I probably guys didn't. So there was a news story that happened maybe 3 days ago of some guy that lives down in Mississippi who had requested Google blur his house. When they do the satellite views and the truck drive-bys. Well, they denied his request. So on his roof, if you look up his address, has a big "fuck you" written on the roof of the house. So that'll show you Google.
That's good.
Yeah, ours they show a quarter of the house. What used to be the end of the street. It's like you got to kind of move the thing around to kind of get the whole house. I'm like going, they couldn't come all the way down.
No.
Bastards.
You know what? We're so spoiled though, with the whole Google Maps thing now. When I do demos sometimes for other countries, that's one of the things I say. You can bring in outside applications into our application. So, for example, you can bring in Google Maps right now. So if I want to see the actual area I'm going to, I can just click here, right click, and boom, there's where I'm going to be standing here in a few minutes. And then all of a sudden they'll just be a long pause, yeah, we don't have Google Maps. I'm like, oh. Sorry.
American snob.
Yeah, exactly. Oh. So
we don't have food. It's like how many times do you see Americans playing games with food? Gallagher used to smash the watermelon, or they have these challenges on Big Brother or other shows where there's wasting food and. Oh, yeah. And half the world is starving, but even actually here in America, there's people starving, but yet we're playing with food.
Yeah,
even
South
pumpkins.
Park.
Yeah.
South Park did the best. They did it in 2001 or 2000. It's when Cartman's family adopts an Ethiopian kid. And they go to an all-you-can-eat buffet, and the kids they bring out the shrimp, and Cartman's just and then the kids just
Hey, Stabby Rabbit, you gonna eat that peach cobbler?
Yeah, exactly. These are called appetizers.
It's just exactly Starving Marvin. I forgot what his name was.
Yeah, that's right, Starving Marvin. I remember that. Yeah.
I've never seen that one.
It's old.
That's probably in the first season, I would think.
It's 90s.
Yeah. It started in 97, so it's got to be somewhere.
Is it still on the show?
Yeah, they don't do as many episodes.
Or they shut down because of COVID.
Yeah, they just kind of do them now. That must be their contract when they feel like doing them. It's hey, there's something going on. We want to do
22nd season.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Wow. My favorite one is the one where where they ask for the donation at the register, He goes, no. And then the guy, then the next time he's taking a sandwich out of the girl's mouth, when he says, no, I don't want anything. He goes, no, I already get it. Every time it's worse.
Right.
They make you feel more like shit. Anyway.
Well, it's the same as like with everything's tipping now. You know, it's like in California, I tipped with everything because it's like, you know, people don't make any kind of money in California.
I
anyway,
thought you were
so
talking
like,
about cow tipping, like it was getting out of hand. Like people are just like,
Yeah,
everybody's tipping things nowadays. Like you see
Matt,
something, you tip.
yeah, this isn't.
We're not all in Indiana.
We're not
Yeah.
in Indiana. Yeah. No, it's just like I understood. Like, you know, you're working at a crappy restaurant somewhere in LA. You're making a really shitty wage. It's like, oh yeah, I'll give you $2, you know, or whatever, $3, you know, for like when you really did nothing. But it cracks me up. Like, they want you a tip. I'm like, dude, I literally walked in, I ordered it online, and you want me to give you a tip? Are you serious?
Yeah, it's a hard no.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not giving you shit. I just walked in the door. Like, but not to be like, I mean, I know it's $1 or $2, but still, it's like, no, I'm not tipping you. Fuck you. But then it's like where I grew up, you tip people at Sonic, you know, like the Sonic Drive-In, because they rolled out on the roller skates, you know, and they gave it to you, you know, and it's like, oh yeah, you give them $1 or $2, you know, but like,
Yeah,
it's kind of like out here, you don't do that. Like oh,
Well, that was a big night out, Sonic, right?
It used to be
In Tennessee, yeah.
Yeah. My little podunk town, yeah, that was a big deal to go to Sonic.
we didn't.
We're
get
going
it
to Sonic
here
today, kids.
until like 10 years ago.
Oh, really?
And it's like way north of Boston too, so it's like an hour and a half up north.
Oh.
But yeah, it's not. I've never been to one.
They're okay. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, they're nothing like you're gonna be knocked. You know, they're not gonna be like, dude, you gotta go fucking Sonic. Like cherry limeade, which is one of their drinks, is probably the best thing on the menu. Which is just, it's a Sprite with like different flavors and shit in it.
I've had that. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Yeah. My dad,
We got Sonics here.
yeah, I mean, my dad, I call him on his birthday. Like, what do you do? He's like, oh, we're gonna go Sonic. Good choice.
You know what else you got? You know what else you have in Raleigh? One of my new favorite Instagram pages called me a creepy old man, but there's like what would you call her? She is a vegan cook, and she has written a couple of cookbooks. Her Instagram page is Peanut Butter and Jilly. She's from Raleigh, North Carolina, and
Jilly?
I have not yet made any of her dishes, but I am a fan of her
Sure,
page.
you do, man. You haven't had. Oh, I got you.
Sorry, I just derailed Chris by just commenting. But yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, we
I
know
didn't
you're
hear
not.
you
We know you're not calling
Oh.
that. Yeah, in the comment
Peanut butter
section.
and Jilly.
Yeah, Jilly. What's the Jilly?
Her name is Jill.
I got you.
Okay.
She's
So how
my-
did you find her? Were you just searching for?
my boss said, he goes, I got one for you. This is something I think you'll like. He's like,
Well,
and
now I gotta find out.
it's funny because like my boss is not of the same preference as I, but he looks out for me. And he gives me some recommendations. Yeah,
Thanks
so
for sending me the link, Chris.
I actually have there's two recommendations that he and I have gone back and forth with. So it's Peanut Butter and Jilly is one that he gave me, and another one is Meowie Jane. She is a beautiful entrepreneur. She actually has like a grow facility up in Maine, and she recently is opening up a dispensary. But
Okay, that
Peanut butter
kind
and jelly
of gross.
beans?
Like
she grows weed, and she's stunning, like absolutely stunning. So Meowie Jane on Instagram and Peanut Butter and Jilly on Instagram as well.
I don't know why it took me so long. With
You're
the
married,
gross thing.
man.
I am married, but my wife loves Meowie Jane. She's got a crush on her too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if she knows, it's cool.
Yeah.
Only then. I don't know.
Exactly.
So
before we hit record, we were talking about cryptocurrencies.
Yeah.
How crypto can you go?
Well, this kind of stems off of last week's conversation, right? So we talked a lot about the whole Reddit stock market craze that was happening, and if you jumped in on it, I'd love to hear about it, positive or negative. I jumped in for a little bit, made a little bit of money, lost a little bit of money, made a little money again, lost money again, came out even. Really, but it was fun to watch. Like it was definitely an interesting kind of like swing of the of Wall Street to see what's going on. And it's still happening. Like it's not over yet. I got out of it because I got out of it because it's too volatile for me. But what it did spawn a lot of interest in, and I started kind of educating myself on a little bit more of is cryptocurrency, as Nick was mentioning. So, what is cryptocurrency? So those who are listening and asking that question, like Bitcoin's probably the one that you're probably most familiar with, right?
Most famous,
Yes.
yeah.
Most famous. But there's like dozens and dozens of different types of cryptocurrency available on the market. And I have found an interest in not only just with Bitcoin, but the number 2 most popular cryptocurrency out there, which is
Dog shit.
Is ETH. It's ETH. Not to be confused with Ethereum. Ethereum is actually the software that mines and runs ETH, but ETH, ETH, is the cryptocurrency that I've kind of jumped in on. And Nick, you mentioned this last week, and I think I didn't ask you about it, but now that I've kind of learned a little bit more about it and I'm kind of jumping into it, I'm excited about it because it's like an up and coming cryptocurrency that the one thing that has against others, that other dozens and dozens of cryptocurrencies that are out there is how it's mined and how in the impact that it has on other cryptocurrencies, which is actually kind of interesting. It's like Bitcoin has to go through Ethereum software essentially to be mined. So like Ethereum actually has its hands in almost every cryptocurrency, which gives it, in my opinion, from what I've read in the last few days, some of the most stability when it comes to cryptocurrency in the market right now.
Yeah. I wish I had bought more at the time.
All I know about cryptocurrency is you don't get high on your own supply, so just keep that in mind as you move forward.
Okay. Because I was saying before it dropped when the COVID hit its peak. It dropped down to $90 a coin for the Ethereum, and I bought a one. I was like, oh yeah, I'll get one for a night because it had been so low for so long. It peaked like $500 a coin or something like that, or $600 back in December of 2017, and then it just slammed back down to like $200-300. So I had lost money on it for a long time, and then it dropped down, and I was like, I'll buy an extra one. And now that it's shot up to $1,400 a coin, I'm like, $1,600, yeah. Like
that's even worse.
Yeah, it was like.
Well, that's just it. So it has shot up. A lot of it is because of the attention that Wall Street Bets on Reddit and this whole GameStop AMC thing is kind of like drummed up. There's now a captive audience of these people who are getting addicted to investing, which is a good and bad thing. But a lot of people are moving over towards cryptocurrency as kind of like a big middle finger to Wall Street, because cryptocurrency in itself is a non-regulated, decentralized.
Right. That's the appeal of it, is that it's not really an official currency to anybody. But what's great about it is that every transaction is logged, and so it's fraud is pretty much. I don't get it. Okay.
So I'm sorry, I'm just laughing at Randy's comment. That's just like Star Wars ? Like,
okay, yep. But yeah, not to talk about financial, but yeah.
No, it's fine. I love it. Keep going.
Yeah.
It's really exciting. It's really exciting.
Hey, I'm learning something. I knew nothing about it.
I know. Jack's already made $2 million.
You've heard me talk about it for years about Cliff paying the bathroom attendant in Bitcoin.
Yeah, I've heard that, but I never really got the whole, because I know there's a guy who used to play for the Chargers that now plays for the Panthers, Russell Akua, something like that, and he gets paid in Bitcoin.
Really?
I guess he demands to be paid in Bitcoin, and he how many beers you had today, Matt? But
Matt, are you wasted?
No, I'm not actually.
You should, because you're better if you're funnier. Anyway,
You just pick on me more when I drink. If anybody wants to know, listen to the bonus from last week. So
I kind of remember you missed an epic
well
ripping
before
on
the
Matt.
show.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think I came up with my background. Matt was sending his kids sledding down two trees.
no,
Chris, you missed an epic ripping on Matt last week. I mean, because we got into his kids, him pushing his daughter into a tree, and then him having weird fantasies about his stepsister. I mean,
you guys.
I forgot about that one.
You guys.
The thing is that he had one beer and became that guy, and you're like, what happened to Matt?
All right.
He's over.
This is Matt Truth Serum.
Okay,
Here, have a beer, Matt.
You know what? What's unfair here?
We're over here. We stored the bombs over here.
I don't want to hear any more rips about Southerners anymore. We got Matt from Indiana over here talking about like his stepsister, what was it we were talking about? Kyle.
We lost Nick. It was so weird. Just like lost him. Just like how Fox News just disappeared from everybody's radar. To be clear, because nobody is like, now Nick knows how Jack feels.
Yeah, I was going to say, wow.
He's in like purgatory here, but okay.
He got jacked.
Let's just be clear. I never said anything all I said was, and there's a lot of listeners that can't listen to the bonus material because they're not patrons, and so now they just think I'm some like abusive.
It sounds like what you're trying to do is trying to minimize the damage of how many people are going to hear this story. I think you felt okay with it up until now because you're in this mix too. I'm gonna have to remove you.
Let's go to the Capitol.
All right, so now it's just Jack and I, which is basically what.
Wow.
Three stupid
How am I
guys.
still surviving?
I don't know. Just we got a history, and I need someone to verify this. And the fact that I simply had just remarked, because I've been watching Big Bang Theory, is that my sister reminds me of Penny, or Penny reminds me of my sister, is what it is, because of the way she talks, and like there's certain things that she'll say in her remarks and facial expressions. You guys are the ones that are like, so you're hot for your sister, and I'm like, no, nothing.
No, I think it started with Nick.
All right, you guys can come back on now.
If I remember correctly, I think it started with Nick. I just said,
so this is your sister-in-law that looks like Penny?
No,
I said my stepsister sounds like.
Who's a Patriots fan?
She is also blonde too.
You know what?
This is very
like a lot of Patriots fans. She used to
Randy
be
Penny the Cornhusker. See, Randy remembers.
This would be the
Cornhusker. That's right.
Randy's like the only person on here that actually like
separate the wheat from the chaff. Yeah, gotcha. Mm-hmm.
Look, even my stepbrother can verify this.
Whoa.
So my stepbrother and my stepsister are siblings.
This is just getting all sorts of weird.
So not really what I wanted to talk about tonight.
You're talking about it.
No, because Nick brought it up.
You actually literally gave yourself a solo stage by putting us.
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify exactly what this, Southern is trying to besmirch upon my family.
It's the worst. You're one of them Hollywood. That's terrible. That's what drives Southerners nuts about people do Southern accents. There's only two Southern accents that actors do. Either the rich, pompous plantation owner, this is just outrageous. I say. Or like the full blown just redneck. What you doing around here?
That's the one I do. I don't do the rich one.
I have to say that those Southerners still.
Why are you sledding in my junkyard, boy?
By the way, I have snuck into a junkyard before.
Was it to get the baseball that you accidentally hit over the fence?
No, and it wasn't to go sledding either. So
it was next to his sister's house.
Yeah. Open window, with a nice breeze blowing through the curtains.
Yeah, I really wanted to leave this whole conversation in the breeze.
There's a tree. There's a tree.
It's awfully hot today in Indiana.
Matt, all right. I'm going to inject some advice. Like,
don't inject anything.
The more you defend this situation, the longer the conversation is going to.
Nick.
All right.
High five.
I think at this point we just take a commercial break from all of this.
Oh,
Saved by the bell. Oh,
I still have my zip tie if you want to go.
Wait. Break it now. And then we can come back for the screech. Sad
Yeah.
news.
Dustin Diamond, man.
Yeah,
44.
44. I thought he
He was
was way
diagnosed
older than
too.
that. Like you
Dude,
forget
yeah.
how young he was.
kidding.
You know,
I didn't realize he's only 4 years older than me, which is crazy. I thought
That was part of the
I
problem he
assumed
had on Saved by the Bell was he was younger than everybody else.
I had
Yeah,
the
they were-
association of him being like at least 10 years older than me, 10, 15 years old. I thought he was the same age as the rest of the crew.
I thought he
Guys,
was like
I'm
Matt's age,
45.
like 50s.
No,
like,
I'm
you know.
44. Guys,
Oh.
hi, I'm 40.
Oh.
That was my age.
What?
I saw that pop up and I said, "Oh my gosh, she's my age." So I know
What?
you guys like to
You-
think that I'm older, but no.
I thought you were
I'm
like
straight.
52.
Nope.
He's going up faster than Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So
But I will say, though,
You were talking about getting your AARP the other day.
that dude
I'm
had
old enough to
a
play-
rough life after
Yeah, he did.
Saved by the Bell.
Well, a lot of it was his own fault.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
like,
Yeah, I think
It's
a
one of those
lot of it
things-
has to do with the child actors. You
yeah,
know,
exactly.
rarely do you come out unscathed.
You think
But
about
why
it.
do-
He was
why
the
do some
awkward
do
one.
and
He was
some
a
don't?
kid. You know what?
Why do some come out fine and others don't? I think because the ones that are probably used by their parents and
Well, that's I mean, but you think about like in that cast, for example, he was cast as the awkward, nerdy kid, so he's going to have that around his neck his whole life.
Mhm.
Then he's at least 5 to 6 years or more younger than the rest of the cast, so he's going to be
Yeah.
isolated from them for just the age difference. And they were all like, built, attractive looking people.
Banging each other.
Yeah, banging each other, and they constantly alienated him out of that cast. And then, as you grow up, he's just Screech. His entire life, he was Screech.
Right. It's
You know?
like
Yeah.
it's like if you were the actor that played Jar Jar Binks, you
Mm.
would be ostracized by an entire fan community. That
Yeah,
would
but
just
very few people know what that guy actually looks like, though.
True, but I'm using that example
Yeah, yeah.
because
I have no idea what he looks like.
he was ostracized and he
He was,
was
yeah.
felt alienated and suicidal, and fortunately he stuck around and he's been welcomed back into the Star Wars community. So yeah
not by me.
Randy, I got the Star Wars in there, you know me.
All right, so pivot to
Well,
Star
he was,
Wars. for a hot
he was
second.
diagnosed. Well,
Oh,
wait,
sure.
he was diagnosed 2 weeks. He was only diagnosed
Well,
with lung cancer like
he
2 weeks ago.
shared that he had been diagnosed 2 weeks ago. I don't know how long he knew.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I used to watch him on Celebrity Fit Club.
yeah, it sucks, man. So speaking of Star Wars, I'm chugging right along with the Clone Wars.
You mean Rebels?
That's what I meant. Yep.
I'm
Rebels.
watching Clone Wars, you're watching Rebels.
I'm watching
Right.
Clone Wars. Yeah.
So I'm in season 3 of Rebels. I just saw actually a pretty fun episode. I think it was definitely like a break in some of the storytelling, but it was the one when Zeb was in charge of watching the base, and then that Sentinel droid came and they reprogrammed it, sent it back to their destroyer, and blew up a ship. And Thrawn was excited because it narrowed down his search to 92 planets.
Oh, right.
When you guys start talking about Star Wars, the listeners think we're going into another commercial break.
Oh,
Oh no, Randy gave a thumbs up.
thumbs up. Yeah, people
Well,
like it.
Randy's just being nice.
Yeah.
He's
We
a
don't
nice
even
guy.
we didn't even really talk serious Star Wars right now. We're just just riffing.
Yeah,
Right,
this
it's
is just like
just
on
like-
the surface. It's like
Yeah.
foreplay.
I was really tempted. I've been looking on eBay
Nope.
now for
Nope, not foreplay. Star Wars is not rarely, but never my foreplay. I might be a Star Wars nerd, but I'm not that much of a Star Wars nerd.
Fair enough, but you didn't see Padme.
You
in
don't, you,
that.
you don't want to go solo.
Like, why was she wearing that dominatrix outfit in like Attack of the
For real?
Clones?
Yeah, that's
Like,
so weird.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's like this, oh, I'm gonna slip into something more comfortable by the fire.
wearing leather with a choker. Yeah, like what the hell?
Yeah. Anyway, so
I've been looking on eBay just because of the Rebels talk. I'm like, is the one set I never bought at the time, the Lego set that I wanted to and I should have bought, which was the Ghost with
I know.
the Phantom along
Yep.
with it.
you too.
And the thing is going for insane. Like it goes for like $400 or
Really?
$500. Yeah, and I'm just like,
I saw
ugh.
one at a local Lego store used for $350. It has all the figures, has the Phantom, and it was one of those things I was like, oh fuck, that's so expensive, jeez.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, yeah, I'm glad that you're enjoying Rebels. Are you halfway through season 3 or like on the hecking on the surface?
Yeah, I'm episode 20, I think.
Oh, you're getting close to the end?
Yeah, so the prior episode, which I think had a little more to do with the storyline of the season, was when they found that last Genoshan with.
Oh yeah, and
Saw.
by the way, I think like there was some of those episodes were coming out right around the time Rogue One, I want to say, or it's getting close to Rogue
Makes sense.
One.
Yeah.
Like,
Makes sense, yeah. Whoever the voice cast is, I didn't look it up for Saw Gerrera. I don't know if it is him, but
it is him.
Oh, it is. Okay, I was gonna say it sounds a lot like Forrest Whitaker, right?
Yeah. I think they got him to do the voice in the Rebels. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, you can tell it sounds different,
Than the one in Clone
very
Wars. Yeah.
similar. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm on season 5 right now, Clone Wars, and it's one of those like I've been going like, you can skip this episode, you can skip this episode. And I'm like, season 5, pretty much you can't skip any episodes because even those with nice, Randy.
Randy now wants us to talk about cryptocurrency. Okay, I
yeah,
guess it's your show, Randy.
Yeah, but like even season 5, like there's a few episodes there where you're like, it's not really important, but it does introduce Saul, and you're like, I can't tell someone to skip over these because you have Saul Gerrera in these episodes.
Right.
Yeah. So,
anyway. What else can we talk about that's gonna piss Jack off?
Oh, I'm not mad. I'm just sitting there. I'm just sitting there listening.
Well, I'm enjoying the Clone Wars rewatch. Just got to the Ventress episode as I shared in our little text messaging group there.
You're moving along. If you're already in season 4,
we did. My son is in charge of this train. He's like, "Come on, let's get some more Clone Wars episodes out." And by this point in the Clone Wars, it's like 3 episode story arcs. So it's kind of like, so we're right before Mortis, and so I was like, okay, enough for today. We're not gonna watch any more because I want to watch all Mortis arc together. It's better that way. So. And I'm following the chronological order. It's kind of interesting because at some point you notice this flip that happens with Clone Wars, where all of a sudden when it does follow Ventress, you're like, oh, you've introduced this Darksider storyline into the whole series, and from there on, there is a Darksider element to the entire series. Up to that point, it's basically clones and Jedi.
Yeah.
A little bit of Hutts thrown in. And the whole time you're in the Hutts, you're just like, what the fuck? Why are we on the Hutts? Can we not get to something cooler than the fucking Hutts?
Well, that's one of the things that's neat. It's like a little
truth.
When the Clone Wars credits opens up, to Star Wars, if it's red instead of yellow, that's how you know it's a Sith oriented episode versus Maul
specifically.
Maul specifically, you're right.
Is what they're But
I feel like I've been just over consuming Star Wars content for the last couple of weeks because I've been mainlining Rebels at the same time I'm also listening to Star Wars from a certain point of view. And I apologize because in the text string I led to a couple of plot lines that I didn't realize that Nick hadn't listened to or read yet. But man, I'm having a ton of fun with that book. It's actually
reading this one.
Oh, cool. But, it's a lot of fun. There's some stuff you're like, why is this even a story? And then you get to the end of it, you're like, oh, that makes sense. But yeah, so another recommendation if you guys are interested in a good audiobook or a good read, check out the series. There's 2 books out now. You have Star Wars for essentially 2 movies that mirror A New Hope and then Empire Strikes Back. So it's Star Wars from a certain point of view.
They're really
recommended to me by Matt.
Oh,
he's not to give you credit this time.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, we all enjoy Star Wars together. It's more just kind of like, hey, specifically with the book for your daughter, because I've seen my daughter devour that book.
Yeah,
again.
Loving it. Her favorite is still Ahsoka.
Ahsoka's awesome. I mean,
really
to me, I mean, I think Matt primarily said it during the last season of Clone Wars, is that the Clone Wars, even though it's really about Anakin and and Obi-Wan, it really is more about Ahsoka and the clone troopers, and that's, especially as it progresses, it's more about their story than it is anything else. But
you just have to get past the food. Okay.
Yeah.
One last thought and addendum to what Nick just said, because I've been taking notes and just thinking about Clone Wars in general, and perhaps we will have our own Owen and Brews where we talk to Chris officially about the Rebels when we can kind of finalize some of those thoughts. But I was like, when you boil down Clone Wars, it comes down to Rex and Ahsoka, and that's what they deliver on with the last season, which is great. But there's some hanging threads because it's like, what happens to Asajj? What happens to some of these clones after Order 66? And I'm so excited that Bad Batch, I think, will finish, or maybe take. Perhaps we will see Asajj. No, you don't think she's dead?
Nah,
she is dead. Yeah.
When did she die?
So all right, so that's one. It's one of the casualties of Disney buying Lucasfilm is that the remainder of season 6 was never filmed or created, and you would have seen it's in the book. If everyone is a Asajj Ventress fan like I am, you go buy the Dark Disciple book.
I know you've been recommending that book to me for years.
But
I need to just dive
it closes out. It's all the storylines that were left of Ventress, and so it's her and I forget his name.
Quinlan Voss.
Quinlan Voss. Yeah, it's him and Quinlan Voss.
Jack would like this. Is the hippie of the Jedi
hippie.
Council.
Yeah.
So Jedi. He's not on the council, but he's so like. Dude, whoa, did you see that gnarly?
Dude, I just moved something.
Nothing worse than people from the Midwest trying to speak Californian.
It's more subtle. Hey, man.
All right, on to other
I'm
things.
just here for some tasty waves, man.
It would be cool if Quinlan Voss had thrown for Ohio State. So,
yeah. I am an FBI agent.
Too fast.
Sure.
So one big thing I need to tell you guys about yet, and it's like I wanted to have a podcast almost immediately after.
This is my other bit of advice. This is where I want you to think about this.
Yeah.
Do you really want to bring the story up? Because it's one of two different ways.
Yeah.
Like this could be this week's your sister. You have no idea.
I assume that's what we're talking about. We're talking about your stepsister, right?
I'm ready to listen, or I'm also ready to skip. It's up to you.
Yeah, I know that the audience probably wants to hear more about your stepsister. Just saying.
I'm not talking about my stepsister ever fucking again.
Well, a lot of them had to leave to take a lot of them had to leave to take a cold shower. So that's just
look. I only made the similarity connection. Also, my stepbrother and I both like realize this. On our own. My wife has noticed it, and it's not out of sexual desire of Penny. That's coming from you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Me? I didn't say anything.
You shouldn't repress his feelings. I'm just saying because
one sexual. Like why? Yeah. There's some like Freudian stuff happening right now.
Yeah.
Oh man, I really just wanted to talk about.
I wasn't even there, man.
Yeah.
I know you weren't even there.
I was just
we thought you
Chris up, and then you brought it up.
We both said you would have joined in.
Yeah.
Both Nick and I
would. I did have a beer at that point, which was kind of funny.
A beer.
All right. So you've had some time to think about it, Matt.
Yeah.
Are you ready to share your
story? I'm ready to share this story. Like it was something traumatic that happened to me last week.
Oh, that's right.
And I really wanted to talk to you guys. It was kind of like
shit about this now. I feel bad.
Chris was like, "Oh fuck yeah, I took 2 gummies before."
I'm glad I'm the one that didn't. Do
okay.
You're gonna bring us down though. You got everybody all like jacked up, excited.
No, there's nothing to bring you down. It's just that so
don't bring me down.
We'll lighten the story up a little bit.
So all right, I mentioned earlier I was meant to get my haircut with my son. My son and I were set to get our haircut on Thursday, and my day at this point is just like business, work, business, like all of these like
business. Put on your mask.
Like all of like these, I had one of those orders where it just came through and it just like, it was like a colonoscopy. It just ripped out like everything in this. It was just like, now I have to order here.
I've had a colonoscopy. That's not what happens.
Okay.
It's like a roto-rooter in you.
Yeah.
Let's just say let's just
Everything
say,
stays in.
okay, let's just say that this order was.
Well, there's nothing in there actually because you.
I can't even
flushed out.
fucking say anything.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Let's just say that the order was a car crash within the system where it was just like, oh fuck, there's all of these things I got to deal with now. So we're on our way. I'm on the highway,
then you do it. Yeah.
and I'm in this accident. It's a highway accident. We were going.
It looked bad too.
Well, fortunately, like it could have been worse for the vehicle. It could have been mangled a lot more. The other vehicle was not drivable after the incident, but
The one that's stolen one.
the stolen one, yeah. Way to bury the lead.
Still, it's thunder.
You know, everybody can just read my post on Instagram, and then you can know what happened. But at any rate, I'm in the far left lane. I'm in the fast lane.
I did go 20 minutes without saying a word.
And-
Lose your mind.
But the reason why I'm in the left lane and the fast lane is because eventually I'm going to come up upon a highway split. So I have to be in this lane in order to go on 70 West. So for any Indianapolis people that want to know, and I doubt that you listen to the show, thank God. I'm traveling.
What you got against our listeners from Indiana?
Nothing. I just,
we like them.
no, I like it. I like
they're out
the
cow
listeners.
tipping.
I just don't think that there are any in Indianapolis, which thank God there's not. So Eric,
Hey, if you're out there, you're
That's what
listening.
happened.
he's in another.
That's
person.
what happened to Eric. The cow fell on him. Okay, good.
No, he slipped.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm traveling in the left hand lane, and this woman, or girl, I don't know. She was probably 20 years old. It's weird because I have the ability to draw her, but I don't want to spend that much time thinking about her face.
Oh, you actually saw her face? I mean,
Yeah. Okay. So here's what happens. I'm in the left hand lane. Oh, here. Let me just do this real quick.
So for everyone out there, Matt
Take
has
down
just
and
taken down his
control.
green screen, and now he has his chalkboard. So we're going to get a nice diagram.
so it's like a
On the
70s episode of something.
So let's see. We're over here. So here is.
He's drawing a highway
Yeah.
with a square for representing a car in motion.
Yeah.
You think an artist could do a better car?
A little bit, yeah. The road looks a little
That's all right.
crooked.
I feel like I'm on an episode of Law and Order.
Yeah. Man,
How
like that,
come-
that's a 3 line. Okay.
Wait, how come the car only has 2 tires?
Yeah.
Because from that perspective, you can only see those 2 tires. You can't see those 2 tires. I'm not going 3-dimensional. Stop derailing me. All right, so I believe that this car came over over the 2 lanes to actually hit me. And the weird thing is that my back tire here and her
Yeah.
front
We're
tire
getting a
there.
zoomed in look now
Yeah.
at the
Yeah,
tire.
this is a zoomed in.
It's like an over the.
Yeah, we're getting
They-
a magnifying glass
Oh,
now
it's a-
specifically on the back rear tire.
The back rear tire met. So she's coming.
Tire's about
over.
to get busy, like it's
So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like
It's
grease.
like, God.
Well, it got
When they were drag
it
racing.
got rubber all over.
Rubbing is racing, Matt. Just
Yeah, well, it's not when your son's next to you. It's not when you're on the highway. So she comes over. How she does not see me at this point
Uh-huh.
is unfucking believable. I'll just say that much.
Was she
And-
texting maybe?
No, I actually believe that she was on drugs. So I had witnessed her prior to this, like several exits before this. Like there was a oh fuck, everybody stopped moment. And that's at which point I decided, like, I'm going to get over into this lane because all y'all are trying to get to this other intersection, and I'm just going to avoid this and pass everybody by. And I did successfully, not going way crazy. There was no it was just a sunny, bright day. No rain, no ice. It was just an easygoing day. I actually had like our roof kind of thing not open, but like where the sun could come in. And
Sunroof.
yeah, like the little port up at the top there, so the sunshine could come in because it was a nice day, and it's like, hey, my son and I were going to get our haircuts. Afterwards, I was going to take him to the comic book shop, and buy some comics.
Is this the haircut? You had the wrong date.
No. That happened this week.
Is this where you scream? Is this where you screamed out "fuck" as you're spinning around, and then your son learned?
No, but it's funny though because my son after the accident, we're standing on the side of the highway, and my son tells my wife and I, he says, right as soon as it happened, I just said in my mind, I was like, oh. I was like,
exactly.
That's the perfect response, buddy. Like that is awesome. That your mind, like maybe he said it in his mind, but he can't say it to us, so he just censored himself.
Oh, he said it in his mind.
He was avoiding being grounded.
Yeah, he knows. He's seen A Christmas Story. He knows what happens. So
just blame it on your friend.
So okay, so she hits me at this point. And
we're looking at a diagonal angle from right to left. As
she hits me this way, it propels me that way.
Propels him to the right side at a 1 o'clock angle.
And that's a 90 degree, by the way.
She proceeds to spin out.
She spins out to the right-hand side of the road.
Like a ding dong.
Were there any other cars on the road at the time?
Yes, there were actually cars back here at this, and I was
the rear adjacent.
They missed you.
We were all lucky enough that they stopped. As soon as they saw this, they all slowed down and stopped. Now there were 3 cars after the accident that happened
on the right-hand side
that pulled over.
Anyone have a dash cam?
No. So
no dash cams were present.
Okay.
Objection, Your Honor. This evidence is not sufficient. This is just hearsay.
Exactly.
I don't believe the check.
It's sustained.
I want to know after you've come to a full stop, you finish saying fuck and you shit your pants, and you see the girl exit the car and just dart off in the weeds. I want to know what your thought process is.
Spoiler alert.
That's not quite what happens here. So
way to bury the second lead there.
So as soon as I'm hit, like I can feel like there's this weird thing that happens where it's like it's like the sound right before the crash where there's almost like this like bam, like it almost like leads up to it. It's a weird sound. And as it
void of sound.
Yeah, it was really weird. And then as it happened, I was like, oh shit, we're being hit on the road, like on the highway, like I know what an accident's like. And then I immediately went into this, like, the vehicle wanted to spin out. And so I'm doing my best to like basically steer into the fishtail. And so as it's fishtailing, I'm, doing this, and I'm seeing my son and I'm just like, dear God, don't roll. Like, I'm just like, don't roll. Like, I don't want this to tip over onto him. Like, that's like the only thing that's going through my mind. And I think that because we went at this trajectory, as opposed to like, had we gone
1 o'clock angle once again.
Had we gone parallel, had we spun.
So for everyone out there,
we could have.
The girl went into a ding dong.
It's lucky that
she went into the root. Yeah, she went to the ring ding dong into the ditch. Whereas
it's lucky you went at that angle and she spun because if she would have hit you again.
Okay, so as I'm going into the ditch, there's a moment where I'm like applying the brakes. I'm trying to regain control of the vehicle as I'm going into the ditch, and I see her car's been like kicking up dirt and smoke everywhere, which my son thought that we were going to be on fire because. Basically every movie, every TV show, every Clone Wars episode that we've been watching,
it's gonna explode, man.
I know. He's like, we need to get out of here. Like that's which, hey, I'm glad it's taught him one thing, like get away.
TV,
but I was like,
TV is helpful.
And I'm like, it's fine, like we're okay, and he's like,
if you get out of the vehicle, then the zombies get you.
So
that's
yeah,
she's
she's spinning around, and I see her as I'm headed into the ditch, and I'm like, dear God, I'm going to hit her again. Like all of these things. It's like, it was super slow motion.
Wait, you're going to hit her again?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to hit, we're going to hit again.
Another Freudian slip there.
With the jury, keep that on record. Don't strike that from the record.
So
a woman said when I hit her a second time.
No, because we already had hit due to her. I'm going to hit her a second time. Like
according to the chalk. Yes, that's true.
All right. At any rate, the 3 people that stopped, fortunately, one of them left her name and phone number, which I was able to give to the trooper when they finally showed up. We crash. I immediately pull out 911 call. I'm like, yeah, we're on the highway.
Unless
nope.
there's bodily injury, they don't
Yeah.
give a shit.
Right. Exactly. And so that was at 1:55. Oh yeah, the first time I called, I got hung up on, which was really shitty. Called again, got through, and reported it. They weren't there until about 2:45. She left. She left at about 2:20 when I called a second time to say.
So she was hanging around waiting for the.
She was hanging around for somebody else to come by and pick her up. There was a second vehicle that came by to pick her up. Now, in the meantime, I'm standing around trying to like keep my son's sanity, my own sanity, like as we're stranded on
Stay safe.
Stay safe, and yeah, just what to do at this point, because I'm calling different people, and there was this moment that was very much like Christmas Vacation, where the Murray, Bill Murray's brother.
Cousin Eddie.
Brian Doyle Murray.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Brian Murray. He's the boss, and he's just like, give me somebody while I'm waiting. Like that's kind of how I felt, because I did not want to talk to this woman at all. Like I was just like, I've got nothing to say to you until the police arrive. They can take your information.
So this is the woman that hit you. She did stick around for a second.
She stuck around because she
only waiting for a ride.
Waiting for a ride. Yeah.
And so the ride showed up. And I think that probably out of guilt and shock, she felt some kind of obligation, maybe, I guess. I don't know. I wish I would have taken her picture or the car that left's picture.
Yeah.
But the car that showed up, there were 2 people that were with her, which also freaked me out, because then now it's just like, okay, I'm here with my son. I'm trapped. Like, the cops aren't showing up. Like, and just edgy as fuck. I've been so on edge, and that's the unfair part, because she took what was a normal sane day, and now she's added this level to my life and ran away, and it just it sucks, because it's like I'm not physically hurt. My son wasn't physically hurt. I think she had a I think she either had the black eye forming from immediate impact or from prior. And I know that there's probably a lot of people out there that would have like just gone off on this woman. And there are feelings that I have for this person for putting my son's life in jeopardy as well as my own. We could have spun across that highway and hit a semi truck, and I wouldn't be here. And that's what goes through my mind, is like all of these like things could have been a lot different for me. That last podcast would have been my last podcast, because I would have been injured, or I would have been dealing with the traumatic loss of my son.
You felt pretty bad there, Nick?
I think you would have felt worse, Jack, because no one would have hit record.
Okay.
Anyway, it was an all around shitty thing. She fled.
So when she left, you didn't get the license plate number of the car?
That's what in today's world, you need to immediately start taking photos of everything,
Right. And there are certain things that you're also doing, because you're like trying to calm your son down, trying to like contact your wife and say like, no, you need to come now, because these people are sketchy as fuck, and I need you to like be here with me. Because it was kind of towards the time of day where she was close, and she probably could have been there before those other people showed up. But again, she was also going like, okay, you're safe, you're not injured, the police are on their way, I will be there shortly, and
I'm kind of the first time you told this story to us privately, in my mind, because you just said she took off, I'm thinking like she gets out of the car and just darts off running into the weed. And so it would have been a much cooler story.
So did the troopers when they showed up, because they were ready for an on foot like thing. And I'm like, if you guys were just here like 20 minutes earlier, you wouldn't be like freaking the fuck out on this shit. Like you could have just had her, because the people that showed up on the scene, and you're most honest when people show up on the scene, She said, I don't have a driver's license and I just got this car. So fortunately we have.
So she told you that. Well, she
didn't tell me that. She told the people that showed up to check to see if she was okay. This is immediately after the accident happened. There were 3 people that ran up and made sure.
Well, if she stole the car, she doesn't want to give her ID. If she had ID, she's not going to want to.
Right. And get this. At one point, she was like, "Hey, should we exchange information?" And I'm like, "No, I'm waiting for the police." And I'm so glad that I did, because I wouldn't want this bitch to know where I live.
Yeah.
Or the people that she knows. And that's the part where I'm just like, I mean, I had my anger, I had my frustration, but I feel sad for her, you know?
You should have gave her your neighbor's address.
I should have gave her this podcast.
Wait, so did you actually exchange any kind of information though?
Nope, none whatsoever.
See, that's like, after I'm finished taking photos, you need to meet, be like, hey, like, do you have insurance? Let's exchange insurance. Because that's just that information. It's not the address or anything. And then if she goes, oh, I don't have it, then you punch her in the face.
I already knew that she didn't have it.
Yeah.
So, and she was, again, sketchy as fuck. So,
and yet you let her leave. You should dead leg that girl. Throw her out in the middle of traffic. What the hell, Matt? You got to set an example for your son.
Yeah, I know.
Sweep the leg.
Yeah.
Well, and then okay, so the tow truck comes. You know, the other car's total. They can't run or leave. And my vehicle, they were able to pull out of the ditch there, and I was able to drive it home, not taking the highway. I've only driven on the highway once since the incident, and that was today for a short period of time. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of trying to build my confidence, because here's the thing that I've realized is that my confidence is shattered not in my ability to drive, but in everybody else's ability.
Yeah.
And
was this your first kind of accident?
No, I've been in accidents before, but this was my first highway accident, and I want it to be my only highway accident, because let's face it, when you're going 65 miles per hour or more, that's it. Like, you don't have things moved in slow motion, and we were lucky. Like, that's the thing. We were lucky. And that's why I thank my mom, because at some point in that cold, I fumbled and I accidentally dialed my aunt, and I hung up, and I was just like, I have to call my wife or somebody else. It was just close to my phone book there. And she called back later, and that was like the thing that kind of, it was just a little bit of my mom being there, just being like, it's okay. And sometimes you just, I don't know. It'll tick me a little bit, and it sucks too, because next week we go back to in-person teaching, and it's a drive. I'm excited because
I would be too. Yeah,
but I'm not excited about the drive.
Oh, right.
Did they ever catch her, or they no clue who she is, and
they don't.
They'll never catch her.
Yeah, the police did. The trooper did have, and see, here's the thing: is because it was highway, it had to be state patrol and not local police. If the local police, which we were really close by a neighborhood, were there, they could have actually dealt with it faster. But the trooper did have me identify the person that owned the vehicle. They had a photo, and I was able to verify that was not the same driver, so that they could actually list it as being stolen. But yeah,
did you have full coverage, or do you have just liability? Because that's what would make me mad, is that you actually have to pay for this out of pocket now.
So I had to pay for the tow out of pocket right there. I think we get reimbursed because we have an uninsured motorist, and my wife has been on top of this. This has been, she's been really great, because it's also one of those things that after it happens, that's the last thing on your mind. It's oh, now I gotta go. Yes, her car was registered to someone, and that someone, Randy, was who I saw a photo of, and I was able to verify no, that was not the person that was driving it, and that was not the people that picked her up. So,
but could she have known the person that that owns the car? Could they know the person?
It had Oklahoma state plates. So
Oklahoma weather.
Yeah. So,
It's good you and your son are all right. I mean, physically.
Yes, we are physically, and he, obviously had a big scare and a great story, and we shared in this unique moment where, you know, he was like, yeah, when it was happening, it just was like slow motion. And I was like, yeah, it's freaky, isn't it? But it is something that is unique when you're in a moment like that, where things move slow, but it's like, and I know athletes experience it, but it's not fun to experience it when you're, you know, in fear. So.
Yeah, and it probably would have a lasting experience on your son, and the fact that, like, from now on, if once he starts driving himself, he'll remember that, like, you know, like, oh, I should be more safe, I should wear my seatbelt, I should, you know, like all these things, you know. There's
all of these like other like weird things that happen right before the event. Like, I noticed her driving, like, even though I didn't know she was the issue with like the braking that stopped happened even way before we were in the accident together. But I saw her at some point just kind of like, oh, she's way over there. And I had made the mental note, like, I bet she's getting off on that exit. And I just lost track of her. And I didn't realize that like she was actually back there just being her own.
So the car stopped because she cut everybody off.
She cut everybody off, hit me, and then those other cars like slowed down, and then and then a few drivers were able to pull over and just kind of make sure that, and then, you know, we had our few good Samaritans. I think there was one lady that actually circled back around to make sure that we were actually okay, which was nice. Which was really nice. I wish she would have left her name and number as well, just for the police to have a second report that says like this woman like did this to us. And Chris, yeah, you're right. Cars are replaceable. We're not. And I don't know all of the things that'll happen with the vehicle at this point. I know we have certain insurance we have uninsured motorist, which is, we had medical uninsured motorist too. So if either of us were injured, we'd have it for so much, but it's so limited, you know, because, and then here's the ridiculous part. Like, I met someone who was in a coma for 4 days after being in a serious car accident. And he was like, it's not like the movies or TV. It was just like lights out, lights back on.
Yeah.
And, you know, he was saying that he had I want to say that it was like $60,000 worth of medical that they had to pay for. So out of pocket. And, you know, that's a life-changing, you know, thing. And your life and your vehicle aren't worth it. So I'm just trying to be a better and more cautious driver. I mean, I feel like I was solid in those moments because, like I said, I maintained control over the vehicle, but it doesn't prepare you. And I don't care if I'm considered lesser for having to, like, you know, I don't know, have this linger with me, because we should all be so cautious, you know?
Well, I always told my kids when they were learning how to drive, and today, when they're driving with it, you have to, it's not you have to worry about, it's everybody else on the road, because everyone else drives like shit.
Yeah.
Look at that fucking moron. Look at that dumbass. Look at that person over there. They're probably on their goddamn fucking cell phone. Blah, 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 blah.
I mean, it's like even just like the swising through. I mean, I see it all the time. Like people going across like 3 lanes, you know, and it's ridiculous. Like, you know, I wish there was something that could record or capture and say like, look, dude, I don't even like need everybody like to be tagged with like $100 fines or, you know, $1,000 fines. What I need is those people to be like have their license suspended because of these, you know, put the fear of like teaching in them.
Yeah, well, no one teaches how to drive properly. Yeah, because it is like, when people cut across lanes like that, you're supposed to, you know, signal one lane. If you need to really get over, you're supposed to like go one, count 3 seconds, then do another one, then count 3 seconds, do another. Like, but people don't. They just shoot across. It's like, dude, you know how dangerous
you know why?
It is?
Because they're all driving like this. It's like when I see people my age doing that, I go, come on, put your fucking phone down.
Well, and even with these hands-free laws that they put in place, I mean, it doesn't mean that they're enforced. You know,
no, I remember when I drive around California, they have, but you always see people. But Chris Doran mentioned, is this the Brady Bunch episode where the guy is faking the neck injury? And going back to children actors, the guy faking the neck injury was Jackie Coogan, who was a big star as a kid in the silent films with Charlie Chaplin and stuff. Made millions. But then his dad died, I guess. His mom married someone else, and they stole all his money.
Oh shit!
So the law that protects kids now
Right.
child actors who can keep at least some of their money is the Jackie Coogan law. So there you go. A little bit of trivia there for you.
There's a lot of stories like that where, especially like 70s and 80s actors that like emancipated themselves at like 15 and 14 from their parents because their parents were stealing all of their money, and you're like, holy shit.
Did you see that from Matt Creeb in the chat? Says there's a UK guy in a car accident just came out of a 10-month coma, missing COVID entirely. Could you imagine?
Oh, that's so weird. That would just freak me out.
Waking up into a pandemic.
And his name was Rick Grimes.
Well, yeah, for real.
Rick Grimes. You got 28 days later with what's his name?
Oh yeah, 28 days.
Like could that would freak? I can't even wrap my head around that. That'd be insane.
Well, we were watching.
Guess what?
We were watching. My wife is watching all these new shows and stuff, and they're all wearing masks, and they have. I go, what's going to happen like when this thing's in rerun 10, 15 years from now?
Yeah.
And people are going because how
Why's he
people
wearing
just
a
go
mask?
fuck it.
What's up with the mask?
Hey, what's a mask? What? COVID? What? Why is there plexiglass there? Why are they learning school at home? What?
Why is he wearing 5 masks?
Yeah.
Now we're up to 5 masks. Jeez. So
Well, Matt, I'm glad you're okay, man. That's
Yeah.
I was thinking as I was listening to you tell your story, like when significant shit like this happens, it's typically what all you think about for a long period of time. Like you replay it, and you think about different things. I can't imagine how exhausting this week has been for you. Just kind of like playing this back.
it feels like I haven't been on this show for a month. Like it's seriously like Wednesday, like so that happened on Thursday, and it just like, I mean, there's been times where I've been short, my son's been short, and I've been more sensitive. Like I noticed like the more mental things about it, like me being seriously sensitive and like having some serious cry moments about like random things. It's not even about like, oh, the accident. It's like this thing will trigger it, and I'm like, where is this coming from? And it's just
Well, the worst part too is the lady has no remorse. She could have it could the worst could have happened, and she's like, oh fuck it, as long as I don't have to go to jail.
Right. Well, I appreciate the warm sentiments, and unfortunately, because we went over our mark, we got to give another commercial break.
What? We're only 6 minutes over. What the hell?
So the guy got COVID twice, he was in a coma. And he got COVID twice.
Yeah, you can get COVID more than
No,
once.
I'm talking about the
Apparently,
coma dude.
that's what Matt Creed in the text is,
Wow.
or in the chat is saying. So
Well, at least they didn't know it, right?
Jesus.
yeah,
Well, he should have wore his mask, right?
right. Like he's just in the coma over there in the corner, and they're just like, whatever. Like just put a. Well, it's okay. That's sad.
That's your universal health care.
I knew talking about the accident would take up some time, but I seriously was like, I had so many thoughts about it, and I wanted to talk to you guys because like it was almost like this emotional moment for me that I needed that release, So fuck you, Nick. Fuck you, Nick. A little.
Matt. We're only a phone call away too.
Yes.
Maybe that was you calling me all week with spam risk. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just kept ignoring it.
I think Matt's like, no, yeah, I know.
Well, that cheese
For
roll.
real. For real.
Come on.
Thanks.
Off the
I
air,
know.
we're all very sensitive.
It's just
Maybe
this
not Nick. Maybe not Nick.
Well, and then Scream died,
Definitely
and it's like it added to it. It's just like every day that went by, I was like, oh no, this. And
A lot of people died. Cloris Leachman died, and Cicely
That
Tyson.
happened. That happened before
That was
this.
last week.
Did it?
Yeah.
Who can remember?
Before we make this show too long, I was gonna at least try to wrap it up.
We didn't even talk about WandaVision.
Well, we can talk about that in bonus, right?
Okay, all right. I saw the movie. It's the little things with.
Well, I don't want to lose Chris though in the bonus. Let's talk WandaVision real quick here.
Yeah.
Well, but before we cut it off, though, everybody, just this is the reason why you need to become a patron to listen to the bonus episodes, because you can hear all about Matt's fetish with people and things like Mont in WandaVision.
And me talking about the Bang Theory, because clearly I don't want to admit that to Chris. I was keeping that on the down low. It's like, don't tell Chris. I can't have him judge me.
Well, how would you know that you knew about Penny if you weren't watching The Big Bang Theory?
It's a different show as the seasons progress, I gotta say. And I actually enjoy the character of Amy.
Every time I watch WandaVision, I think of The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, you know what?
Oh, because the laugh track.
So did MASH. So did all of these other shows.
Yeah, but the difference is you don't notice the laugh track on a funny show.
No, you don't, because that's why I've never liked laugh tracks, is because as a person what is funny to you, and you laugh because you think it's funny. I don't need someone to fucking insert a laugh track to tell me something is funny when I don't think it's funny.
This is America. We're going to tell you what the fuck to do. Oh yeah, Randy says Hal Holbrook died, but a lot of people thought he was.
I didn't know that. Wow.
To be fair,
he's been dead, hasn't he? Or is he?
No, he just died. Well, he died the 23rd, but they didn't. Everyone assumed he was already dead, so they didn't.
I thought he was dead. Wow. Okay.
He played Lincoln like 15 times. That's probably why you don't like him.
That's true.
What about WandaVision?
Well, I was wrong. There actually is a good documentary out.
And no one told me the Detour was back.
Where was it? It's called. What is it? Sorry. There's something Jess from Wisconsin or Canada recommended to me, and it was called like something without Lincoln. But basically, they found this photograph of Lincoln in his deathbed, like after they shot him, and they're trying to discover if it's real. It's called The Lost Lincoln. That's what it is, and it's of this photograph of him lying dead in the bed, and they're trying to see if it's true or not. Back into the left, Matt.
Is it like the Jesus thing where he was wrapped in?
Right, the Shroud of Turin.
The Shroud, yeah. So is it like did he have his hat, the big hat?
I didn't finish it yet. It's 2 hours. Yeah. Well, it's a creepy fucking photo. Huh?
Does that say fuck niche?
Yeah, it does. Like, is that how you think my name is spelled, Matt? What the hell? Am I German?
No, I didn't want to add too many K's in a row there. So I just
fuck
decided.
niche. Fuck niche.
Fuck niche. Fuck niche. Fuck niche.
Nobody listening to this live knows what we're talking about, but that's fine. So,
that's why you should be joining us.
Back in my narrator voice.
WandaVision.
So in the scene of the accident, apparently, as the car skidded out of control to the upper right 1 o'clock, the tires of one driver carved into the road a perfect fuck niche, which we don't understand who niche is, but it might be a suspect within the crime.
Maybe that's the name of the person.
Maybe. Yes. Oh, there's more. There's more coming now. I can't see because the StreamYard
I can't see
duck logo is in the way. Nicolas.
No. Nicolas. Fuck Nicolas.
I remember I met some guy from Brazil one time, and I said, he's like, oh, I'm blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, I'm Nick or Nicholas. And he goes, oh, Nicolas. And I went, man, you make my name sound sexy. What the fuck? I need to start saying my name like that. I'm Nicolas.
Nikolai.
Nicolas. Yeah, Nikolai. Yeah. Then,
I'm Nikolai.
Let's get some
You want
vodka. Let's
unity.
get some vodka. Yeah. So many ways to say it. Penny Nick.
Chris, what do you want to say?
I was muted. My joke is not going to land right now.
Oh, okay.
It was a timed thing.
Was it timed just like the 4th episode of WandaVision?
Yes, it was.
Oh yeah, we were going to talk about WandaVision. Yeah.
I watched all the episodes in 2 days, which is not a lot. They're fairly short.
4, yeah.
I love the show. I think it's. At first, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? And then you get that last a couple of minutes, like, oh, okay, interesting. And then you start trying to create your own theory. And that it kind of reminds me of going back to watching Lost. Like, not having any idea what the hell's going on, and trying to peel it apart and figure it out. But I like it. I like where it's going. And it's kind of cool to see some of the cameos in the last episode too.
Oh yeah. I mean,
wait, is there 5 episodes? Is the 5th one out already?
Just 4. 5 will be out Friday.
Cameo in the.
There's cameos in the 4th episode. The guy. There's different ones that have been different movies.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you have the fake David Schwimmer, the guy that looks like he's married to the blonde-haired girl, the girl who was running everything. I swear to God, he looks like David Schwimmer.
Who?
If David Schwimmer was wearing a disguise. I don't know the guy's name. I actually looked it up to see if it was.
Are you talking about John Krasinski? Because he also made an appearance.
No.
Most recent.
Was he in there?
It's just an Office reference. The guy that plays the FBI agent plays.
Oh yeah, okay.
Character in the Office, so.
Fake Jim.
Fake Jim. Mm-hmm.
Now I didn't know this. I'll be honest with going into it when I watched the first one. I didn't know this was Marvel. I didn't know this was because I didn't watch the credit. And I'm watching this thing going, all right, so it's definitely. And I thought, I didn't know the husband's name was Vision. So I'm like going, so WandaVision. So it's like take off on television. So it's WandaVision. It's her TV show type thing. She's a TV.
She's Wanda. She's Wanda.
Yeah. And I'm watching. I go, okay, so this is definitely the Dick Van Dyke show. You know.
Right, the Dick Van Dyke, yeah. I mean,
then was it the third one turned into the Brady? Oh no, the fourth one turned into the Brady Bunch. It was the Brady Bunch's front door. It's on the wrong side, but it was, and the colors up top are definitely that. And there was then because when they were in bed together, that could have been Dick Van Dyke or I Love Lucy.
And then they went into Bewitched as well.
Yes.
So
yeah.
And I was just kind of like, okay, because I watched the shows as they aired. And it was just kind of a nice like Friday show. It was like, my son and I were the two that watched the Marvel stuff. My daughter could care less, even though she likes Captain Marvel, and there was a Captain Marvel connection in this last episode. She's still kind of like,
beginning.
She's just like,
if you don't have the closed captioning on though, then it totally goes, because it's all just stuff in the very beginning. You have Captain Marvel like over. Oh well, aside from the mom and the daughter and all that, but
that's.
But you actually hear Captain Marvel talk in the very beginning of the fourth episode. If you have the closed captioning on, it says Captain Marvel voice, and then like he has a lot of lines that are just talking as the episode starts.
I always have it on, so I must have missed that. So I usually watch the show when I drink beers. So
okay, so yeah. All right, so
no,
you're fantasizing about who does Wanda remind you of in your family?
No, nobody.
Well, she's not. Yeah, she's definitely not penny sized.
No, no. Anyway, I just wanted to say that I actually was like fine with like the show. I was just kind of like, I mean, it does move a little slow, and I did fall asleep in the second episode.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. I just think. But I like the concept, and I was always kind of like, well, let's just see where this goes. Like, I'm not going to shit on it until I see the whole thing. And I was really hoping that it would play like basically like a 10-hour, well, not 10-hour, it'd be like a 5-hour movie if there's 10 episodes. So, I was kind of like, okay, let's see what happens.
Once I realized what it was, I enjoyed it more. Because I was like, what? And then during the first episode, they have a clue with somebody writing in a notebook, right, or something like that. At the end of the episode.
Yeah, they did, and that ended up being the one girl from Two Broke Girls. So.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how I know her.
And that's how the laugh track fits in.
Yeah.
Oh.
Two Broke Girls. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like Jack said, like I the first episode I was fine with. Second episode, because it was kind of more of the same. I mean, I was really close to saying fuck it, just because it's like nothing was really. I mean, aside from a little bit of Easter eggs, it's like I get it, the fact that she's in this delusional world, that's being put on her of like it's all fantasy. It's like, but you need to push it somewhere, And then the third episode got a little bit better, and then but the fourth episode finally allowed us to see like, oh yeah, now it's coming together. Of course, they end it right when you're like, fuck, it just got interesting. So, but I like it.
I'll be curious to see how I like the fact that there's all of these TV references in it. That's what I'm enjoying. So,
there's nothing on right now except for WandaVision and Snowpiercer just came back on. The second episode aired yesterday or Monday.
The Detour is back, season 4. No one told me.
Oh, I didn't hear.
Snow.
We used to have listeners that would tell me about these things. I guess our listeners
Well,
don't care.
we started tightening the show to an hour, and now we're getting a little long. So
who's
Oh, I
was
see.
that?
You just want to get your WandaVision in and say, "All right, now, fuck it, let's go."
I do. I've got my names. I wrote them today. See, it's got my little stamp insignia asshole approval there. I didn't put the
He
date.
does look like an asshole. Yeah.
It does. Kurt Vonnegut asshole. He always drew.
He's the artist.
All right. So, thanks for joining us live. For everybody in the chat, really thanks for joining us live. We appreciate it. So, your comments, and send us an email at rcadcast@gmail.com. Do it. We'll read it. Yeah, even if it's advertising. No, we won't read it if it's advertising.
Even if you want to kick Nick off the show,
Go over to jandjack.com. Click on the patron link. Click on the merch gear that you can get for the show. All of that stuff helps us out. Or for the free thing, just rate and review us on iTunes. We would appreciate that.
it's been about a year, people. But just go ahead. I'm not complaining.
We're not begging, but someone's on their knees. Yeah. All right.
Stepsister.
Maybe next week I'll have some more incestuous names in the patron. But this week, patron names are it's basically a taxident report.
Yeah, I like that one.
Because Eckhart wrecked it. Boy, we've been waiting to use that one, huh? Ed dodged it. Maggie missed it. Joanne just saw it. And Greg is just glad no one got injured. That's it. That's what did I do?
Get into a car accident just so you can be better prepared to give out names this week?
No, I came up with these. I did think of the taxident for a while. Like I was
Matthew Vision.
Taxident. So
I do like Taxident, and then you start off with a bang, and then Big Bang. And then,
no, Eckhart wrecked it. Wrecked it. We hardly knew it. By the way, that truck is the same truck that had a tree fall on it. So
that was my first thought.
Wow.
Yeah, I was going to make a joke, and then I realized I should wait and hear the whole story.
Thing's a freaking
Is
tank.
Does your stepsister live on that street that's like a few blocks from where your house is? That why you parked it all shady over there?
No, what? No. My sister did own the vehicle before I got it, but
oh, she did. So you have you have it for sentimental reasons. Then.
No, the truck's been through our whole
lot
family.
of memories.
Memory.
Yeah.
Well, good night, everybody. I'd like to say this was just a great.
Matt,
you close up the show?
I would say, would have been better, Matt, if you would have just joined the Netflix documentary with us. All this stuff with your stepsister would have been.
Season 4. This is amazing shit.
Thanks for joining us live. Join us in the patron bonus, which we'll post in the Facebook group momentarily. So, see you on the flip side.
See ya.